Welcome back. In this session, we will see do's and don'ts for salary negotiation. We'll start with do's first and then we'll cover don'ts. The first in do's is showing value for money. Let's say you went for shopping for a dress, and when you looked at the dress, you thought it would be at $20. But when you saw at the price tag, you saw that it was $100. Now, you thought the value of the dress is just $20. Do you think you would ever pay $100 for that dress? I'm sure not. In the same manner, when an organization is looking for somebody, if they are ready to pay you X amount that you're expecting, he or she should see value in paying that amount. No company would want to pay $100 for a $20 skill set that a person is having. That is not possible. So in the previous session, we've already discussed how we can upgrade ourselves. So ensure there is a value for money in what you're asking. The second is win-win. In any salary negotiation, in joining any organization, if somebody has to lose, then this particular relation will not sustain for long. So ensure there is always a win-win. If they've given you really high, let's say for example, you've got everything on your side. Now your job is to pay as much as possible, way beyond their expectation. That is how you can balance the things. Next is don't take their problem for yours. So in the, let's say interviewer says you that, I'm sorry, but the senior has, the company has decided that this is the maximum that we can pay for this position. What should be your answer? Can I talk to the person who's decided this amount? Their problem is not your problem. Their problem, let it be just their problem. If somebody can resolve it, your job is to go to the core of that problem and tell who is the one who's deciding it. Company cannot decide. Company cannot run on its own. It's people who decide, right? So you should say that I would like to speak to the person who is deciding this amount. And once you are in front of him, definitely I'm sure you can convince him that what amount, why are you expecting this, a little hike in what has been offered to you. So then it goes, then you can always take ahead. The next is always sell yourself before saying the amount, which we have already discussed. But let's say a person is offering you 10,000 and you want 12,000. What you can say is, in my previous organization, I already have all the contacts which can be utilized here. I had ensured the organization went from 50% growth for that particular year. From 50 I took it to 80% in the same year. There was a huge growth that was there because of the strategies and skills that I had implemented, and if I can get it here, your company would be benefited, and that is the reason why I'm asking 12,000 and not 10,000. The next is do power pose. What is a power pose? There is certain body's physiology which would ensure that we get that feeling. For example, imagine you have one, and that is different for everybody, so one cannot have whatever I'm doing, you might not have that. Do power pose before salary negotiation. So let's say, what is a power pose? Power pose is something, it's a pose that we do before negotiating a salary. So what is a power pose? We have to do a pose. Let's say if I say, yippee, I won, yippee, I feel nice. Or else at times I have a habit of jumping. That makes me feel very good. It is similar when I jump, even if I'm negative, what happens? I quickly, you get in that positive state. Or else think about your last victory that you had, and you are like, I'm clapping, yes. And that is something that energizes you. Imagine that action that you were doing. Get in your head if you want to, but what were you doing at that point of time? Were you saying, yay, I won? Or like, what were you doing? What were you doing? What made you happy at that point of time? Go to the washroom, do that. Close the door and do that. it could be anything, it could be the randomest of thing. There is certain physiology that makes you successful, that makes you feel powerful. So think about your last victory, last success, and what was it that you did? If not, this is something that makes you feel very energetic. So do that for 30 seconds about, and then you go and speak about salary negotiation. In that way, you make your body movement in such a way that everything, the vibration of your body, that gets very positive and energetic, and then you pass it on to that person, and when that person gets, he also gets that vibe. So this is what we are trying to do here. So get into power pose, which is very very necessary. Remove salary blocks. Many people have, you would be hearing this term blueprint, that they have in their mind that they cannot get this amount, or my goodness, this person is getting 5 lakh, how can somebody pay 5 lakh, what is that person doing? Or if you have that somebody who gets 15,000 and above is a cheat, he has to cheat to get that amount. These are the blocks that you would be having. On one side you say somebody is a cheat when he gets 15,000. Would you like to be a cheater? No human would like to be. Then there's a fight between your expectation and your blueprint. So you want to go here, your blueprint will pull you there. So it won't go this way, it won't go this way. Rather, it would be in such a way that when you pull it here, this again will pull you here, and so you will not be able to go beyond your beliefs. So if at all you have something like this, which most of us would be having, because that is how we've been brought up, or in certain religion as well, they say it very often. So if you are having any of those beliefs, it's time to cut it off, or give them a break from our brain. So we have to ensure that those limiting beliefs are something that we do not have. So observe them and then remove them. That is something that we need to do. Next is, let's say you have got an offer from an organization. Do not stop till the time things are finalized. Many people have it that once they get offer from an organization, they actually stop looking for other jobs. Why? Because they think their company would offer them the best. But for us, since you've taken this class, for us we have to ensure till that time things are not formally signed, accepted, till that time we would go ahead and search for a job, because we don't want to be disappointed if this organization did not pay what we wanted. So we are not going to stop till the offer is signed, accepted by both parties, right? So for us and for them. So till that time we will not stop our job search at all. We keep it continuous. Next is focus on amount, not on percentage. So many interviewers, when they say we'll be offering 20%, 30%, but the actual amount is really less, not even 1,000. So when you actually calculate that in terms of real money, it would not be a huge difference. So it is very necessary for us, because we don't spend it on the hike of percentage we get, we spend it on the cost, on an amount. So when next time an interviewer says we have given you this percentage hike, don't go by the percentage of hike. Ask them what is the amount, and then you can obviously subtract the higher the amount that they've been sharing, they have shared, from the amount that you currently are getting. So that is the amount which has got increased. Don't trap yourself into percentage, because 10% for 1,000, 10% seems, oh wow, 10%, but in actual, what is 10%? Just 100. So ensure next time when you are when there's a discussion, think in terms of number, not in terms of percentage. So number is important rather than the percentage. Now we'll cover the don'ts of salary negotiation. What we are not supposed to do at any point of time. So these don'ts are equally important as much as do's are important. And the first one is, do not be confrontational. What do I mean by confrontational? Don't go to an argument wherein it becomes a little bit a small fight kind of a thing, a cold war kind of a thing, or you being strong, imposing them that this is what I want. No, don't go to any negative spaces ever in an interview. That forms a very bad impression. So never ever get confrontational, small fight, cold war. No, it is not acceptable. So don't get into confrontational mode. So don't be adamant about anything. Like I said from start, it is a win-win situation. If you're not offered, you always have a way to go to the next job. This is not the last job on the earth that they would be offering you. No job can be the last job. Do not be adamant about the amount you want. Why? Because this is a win. We want to work in collaboration with someone, and being adamant would not help either of the parties. So ensure we are not adamant on the amount. If you are not happy with the amount, we always can go ahead and look for another job. But being adamant will ensure that in future as well, if you want to apply for this particular organization for any other position, they might have an impression about us. So we will not be adamant that I just would want this amount, period. No, we would not do that, right? So because of that, what we could do is our range is a little higher than this is the range that we'd expected. What did we do? We start from here. So even if the bottommost they have informed, still we are better off. So and if you are not happy, we can always leave that company. We can give interview somewhere else. So we have a choice. Okay, the next is interesting. This is mostly for freshers. If you are a fresher, hear me out. Most freshers tend to build a very good rapport with HR, and they share everything with them. Over a period of time, they might share something that they should not be sharing. But please understand that HR is being paid to be friendly with you. They are paid to do that job. So we should not get trapped into that. You can keep your friendship aside. Post you get a job, even after that, you should not go beyond sharing your limitation or any other issues. So do not consider HR as your friend, even if that person is very friendly. Don't get into that friendship mode. Also, do not get into a dead end mode. So when the organization offers you X amount, you say I want 2,000 more. They say no, you say I want 2,000. Then there comes a dead end. Don't let yourself go into that dead end. What would happen dead end when the dead end comes? What would it happen? Both the parties are really tired, arguing, and nobody is ready to make a move or adjust or accommodate. Now, company will find another organization. You will find another organization. But if you really think that this organization can be of a great value to you, ask them that I'll negotiate, I'll adjust a bit, you adjust a bit. This is how we can always put forth and tell them. But do not get into a dead end. It forms a very bad impression. So we will ensure we don't get into the dead end mode. Also, one more thing which women have, or few men as well have, is that they share their personal needs. That I've just got divorced and I have to take care of my son, and his school fees are 5,000, and it becomes very difficult with this amount. So that's the reason I really want a hike. Or else I've just started my education and the fees is 7,000. It's very difficult to survive. I would be greatly helpful if you can just increase it by 2,000. Or else I have a ailing parent. I know I should not be saying this, but I have a ailing parent, and whatever I earn, I just have to survive on the bare minimum, and everything I have to share it, to my parents. My parents are going through a tough time. My family is going through a tough time. Do not share such things. I understand you can park it in a subtle manner, but during salary negotiation, these things should not come. Few people have these things that they few people put forth certain things that they want to rise, but that's not going to work. So so please, we would not, at least we would not use these things in salary negotiation. So these were certain do's and certain don'ts that we can definitely take care of during an interview. Thank you.